Yeah. We back here. I just had some thoughts as I was doing this third report, and I was just reading about this couple, and I've got years of couple counseling, and the one thing I always notice is the main conflict in relationships is finances, and it's like it ain't the man finances, it's the woman's perspective on finances. She wants to talk about finances, and the finances are most of the time because she make more. And what I've noticed about this generation of women is they fail to understand us men sacrifice for them to get. You know what I'm saying? We grew up thinking we were going to be the breadwinner. And as we get into relationships, we're not the breadwinner. And then when the conflict arises, it's like, hey, handle this. Respect me for taking care of you. And it's like, man, I thought we was on the same team. You can't take care of somebody if y'all on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Y'all equally know your role and your position in each fashion. If I'm giving this, you giving that. If you giving that, I'm giving this. It doesn't have to really be explained to the sense of we got to have arguments. You know what I'm saying? We can have a discussion. You could be like, hey, I ain't got it this month. But, I know you ain't got it. I know in advance you ain't got it. So you ain't got to tell me you ain't got it and dwell on it. You can be more, I ain't got it. This was my thoughts. But I notice a lot of things that happen is it'll turn into I ain't got it. Why you ain't got it? And it's like, I wasn't supposed to have it. I can't participate in something that you're the sole control over. I had to talk about money, power, respect, and how they all link together. We spend a lot of times in our relationship trying to put that whole triangle together because, men, we grew up having the thoughts of money, power, respect. We got it. And then, the woman just tag along. But as generations and people evolve and the world evolve to more equality, we slowly lose those things. So we find significant other who's already have it. I may find me a woman who got money already. So I know she has that. So I can help her with the power of respect. Or I can have a woman who has power. I can help her with money and respect. So it's different phases to this that, some people understand. And a lot of times you get into relationships and you have these conversations, but you don't understand what conversation you had until you hit with some conflict. And the cool thing about being in relationships is supposed to be we on the same team, ride or die. And a lot of times we get into these situations where it's like it's me against the world, and you're the moon. You know what I'm saying? And think about the moon. You can't see the moon all day. You know what I'm saying? So we spend time looking for the sun to balance with the moon because you're giving me this moon mentality. You're not giving me this. Well, it's 24 hours in a day. We'll get it done. You give me this. Well, you can get it done within this time. And that just creates, unnecessary resentment that's not addressed. And when it's not addressed, it just builds. And then as it builds up, it hits that volcanic eruption. And the one thing about volcanoes that you can't see it happening until it happens. You know what I'm saying? You can get warning signs, the little earthquake waves, the waves underneath the ground. They'll shake, and then the volcano erupt, and it's one big craziness. And that's a lot of things that we don't take consideration when we're ending things. And that's what I feel like people do better in their second marriage than their first marriage. And I say marriage because marriage is a real relationship. You can date, get engaged, be together. But a marriage is a real relationship. If you ain't been married, you ain't been in a relationship. Because marriage is that it's that ultimate commitment towards one person and one thing. And that one thing does get cloudy over time because, like, you jump into it thinking something. Like a lot of times, men get into relationships thinking they're going to save something. And then when they get into it, it's like, dang, I'm spending more than I expected by being with you. It's like, cool, you make 100,000, I make 60,000. That's 160. And then you get in a relationship, and it's like, your significant other's like, why don't we make 200? And it's like, well, dang, when we started, it was 1,600. And you combine your resources, and it's like, well, dang, babe, you was living off, you was living off 100, and I was living off 60 comfortably. Now we got 160, and it's like you can't survive. And it's like, I think it's a generational thing, because, like, in our previous generations, it wasn't no equality. It was the man brought home 50, we surviving off 50. But now we're like, a man work, a woman work, and we can't live off one. We have to live off, well, why don't we have more than these two? So the man go out and go get more, and then it turns into, well, you're not giving me the satisfaction I need. And it's like, well, dang, I can't satisfy you. That's that moon sun effect I was talking about, how, like, you're giving me one part, but the other part is not realistic. It's like you're saying, hey, for 24 hours, I want the moon and the sun. And it's like, I can't give you both all day. They do overlap, but dang, I can't give you both. That's when the internal conflict starts to happen, and then the internal conflict spills out. And once it spills out, what do you have? Unnecessary conflict. And that's what I've really been noticing in relationships. It's the unnecessary conflict. Some conflict is necessary. It's called building. But the unnecessary conflict distracts you from what you need to be building on. So definitely got to take that into consideration, because it's definitely critical. All right. Peace out. Holla.